a government-funded, big government program. It's all private contracts that all private contracts. So you're basically taking a mission that the government can organize, that only the government can organize in a certain sense. But then you're employing the private sector into that, and you're getting all kinds of spin-off technology. The SDI was LaRouche's idea, the Strategic Defense Initiative. Reagan went with it. LaRouche was always making the point you could get spin-off technologies through laser technologies. One of the things that, in terms of the space program that we're talking about, is then you had SDI. Now it proposes SDE, Strategic Defense of Earth. So you can use laser systems to knock out something before it hits us. Because if we get whacked by an asteroid, we're looking at a dark age. We're looking at, so we got to be able to. Why shouldn't mankind have the power to know what's about to hit us? That's the issue. And the environmentalists and the oligarchical system says, no, you shouldn't have power over nature. You should be subservient to nature.
What do you think our Constitution stands for having troops all over the nation? Basically, all
in the nation?
I'm sorry, all over the world.
All over the nation is definitely illegal.
And all over the world.
Although they might want to put troops all over the nation.
Well, that's what the National Guard's supposed to be for.
That's right, but they're all in Afghanistan.
So what's
it's insane. I mean, we fought the Iraq War when Bush started the Iraq War back in 2002. We stood up against the Iraq War and said Iraq and Saddam Hussein have nothing to do with 9/11.
Right.
It was if anybody, it was the Saudis, and Bush and Cheney never once touched the Saudis. So they've been in bed with them, and so is Obama. So, Afghanistan, you can say, okay, well, it was training ground or whatever, but the only thing they've done in Afghanistan is increase the opium production. So, about fourfold, from what I understand. So,
made them good farmers.
Yeah, right.
National sovereignty?
Yes.
Constitutional?
Yes.
10th Amendment? States' rights?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the states' rights are everything not listed in the, in the Constitution, right? The states, but again, in terms of this would have to be a federal project. You would organize states to come together and build this. I mean, take the TVA, it's 8 states that came together. So there's states' rights, but there's also a higher governing authority, which is the U.S. federal government, the Constitution, that does have a role to play.
Question. Yeah. Okay. They look at this as their water. It's off their coast. This is their water. This is our water off our coast. What happens if Alaska?
Okay.
Right? This is our water off our coast, right? What happens if we decide, well, we should have a national program to pump the lakes down to where there's droughts too?
Is that going to be a problem?
Where's the states right here?
First of all, right now, nobody lives up here.
Okay. I agree with that.
Right.
I just want to see the argument here.
Right. Nobody lives up here, and there's abundance of water, and we're not taking all the water, we're taking a fifth of the water that flows into the ocean unused by man. So actually what it would do is it would fill up the Great Lakes. Take for example California versus Arizona, right, or Nevada. There is huge fights over water right now, right?
Oh yeah.
So in a case like that, what you want to do is say, look, let's look at the higher idea, right? We shouldn't be squabbling over water because we're human and we're Americans, and so if we have an abundance of water up here that's not being used by humans, right? Take it and bring it down here. The bigger problem is that we're going to have to get it through Canada.
Through Canada.
Yeah. And
which is a sovereign nation.
Which is a sovereign nation, and back when this was first proposed, Lester Pearson, the Prime Minister of Canada, was all for it. But that was before the eco-wackos took over. And so we may have to annex Canada.
Now we're talking about the George Bush annexation of us.